how's it going? So XSE Pro League in Guangzhou just finished up recently, and after many hours of demo reviews from the teams that actually wanted to play this map in the tournament, I wanted to make this video showcasing some of the really cool utility pieces and sets that these teams are throwing currently. Hopefully it gives you a little bit better of an insight on how this map is being played at the professional level, and hopefully you can take something from this video to help you and your teammates on your future cash games. A quick note, I am not going to be showcasing any Z smokes or any mid garage smokes because I have already made a video showcasing instant spawn smokes that you can throw from both sides to cover those. So if you haven't seen that video, I would highly recommend you go watch it. So the first smoke we're going to take a look at here is one that was thrown by FaZe a lot, and I believe it was Frozen and Jay Bowen that threw it the most. This is going to be a B main smoke from the second spawn here. If you need the coordinates for that, here they are. I will post that in the description so you can practice this yourself. We're going to take a look at the top right of this building, like this rectangle here, specifically the top center. From there, we want to focus on the logo at the bottom of the screen with the terrorist icon in it, specifically the circle around it. You're going to want to put the top center of that circle at the top center of the roof there. So just like that. From there, we're going to run jump throw, and we're going to jump basically when our horizontal crosshair cuts off half of this window diagonally. So kind of like that. That's when you're going to jump. So we're going to put this all together here. So top center, halfway through that window, jump throw. And this is going to smoke B main the fastest you can possibly do it. It's even quicker than somebody running and bouncing the smoke off there. Next up is going to be an anti-molly instant smoke for boost. We are at spawn 5, the furthest right. There is one for every single spawn, and I plan on making a video about that, so be on the lookout. If you want to practice the smoke, again, here's the position. I'll put that in the description. Super duper easy. You just follow this line, the very far left line, up to the top of the container, and you just W jump throw. It's going to land roughly about here. It's going to bloom down, and again, just prevent that early molly so you can get up. Up next are two smokes I saw FaZe and A2 throw a couple times. I thought these were awesome. You're just going to get in the standard corner right outside of Squeaky, and you're going to be looking up at the clouds. When it comes to these clouds, they do not move whatsoever. As you can see right now, it's just a static image. We're going to be looking at this small white cloud right here. At the very bottom center of that cloud, you're going to jump throw. And then after that, you're going to look up kind of in this like gulf of the clouds here. You're going to see this very faint, what I think looks like a T-shaped cloud. And then you're going to go in the middle, the left line of that T, and then you're going to W jump throw. So we're going to tie that together, jump throw, W jump throw. And this is super duper cool. This allows for an A split for people to come up highway. The first smoke lands up on the E box. The second one lands here and fills in the rest of the space. Basically just blocking truck. And then from there allows you to split and take the site. And while we're in this position, I'll go ahead and show you the standard A execute that every single team seems to be throwing currently. You're going to find this section right here where the vertical and horizontal bar meet. For the first smoke, I like to go just a tad bit to the left of where they meet just to make sure it lands perfectly up on the catwalk. If you're too far right, it can fall down. So I just go a little to the left. Going to middle click jump throw. For the second one, you're going to go exactly where they meet, and you're going to W middle click jump throw. And what this does is lands up on the cat, but also spreads down. The second one lands back red, kind of standard. If anyone's coming out of Squeaky, which you should have, they're protected by this. And if anyone wants to jump up on fork and scale, they're completely hidden from the smoke that bloomed up here. Another really cool smoke that I saw, I cannot for the life of me remember what team it was or who it was, but was a way to smoke tree to assist the team while still having map presence outside of A main. So what you want to do is line up with where this dark meets the light, just like that. You're going to look up at this sign, and we're going to be looking at this symbol or character, whatever this is. You want to line your crosshair up with the bottom left of it while crouching. So crouch, bottom left, and then you're going to stand and you're going to jump throw. And this is going to fly through the gap here and land at tree. Next up, I'm sure everyone is familiar with the truck A main smoke. It's very standard. What I saw a lot of players doing instead though, so they don't have to stop and lose their A timing, is while still looking in the same position, just running up with a middle click throw so they can get that timing while still having A main smoked properly. On the topic of A main, I wanted to showcase a deep A main smoke that I saw James from Paravision throw. I did show this in a previous video, but this lineup I think is way better. How he threw it is at this X in the rope, you're going to put your crosshair there, you're going to hold shift, and when you hit this third cross, that's when you're going to jump throw. This is way more consistent than the one I was throwing, and it's just way easier as well. And lastly, on the A side of things, I wanted to show the halfway through A main smoke. I did only see it a couple times, so I'm not sure if this has become an obsolete. It's definitely not as common as it was when it was first discovered. Maybe teams just don't know about it yet. I'm not sure. But as you're running up here, all you need to do is look at the very bottom middle of the container door. When you hit the sidewalk here, you're just going to throw it. And this smokes halfway through A main, allows you to get that early control. And with this gap here, you can even lurk and take lockers. And taking a look at the B side of things, from the CT side, when we're talking smokes, really nothing too special. Every team just basically bounce the smoke off of there to smoke your main to take checkers. But I did see a pretty interesting variation of the tree smoke that I saw someone from Big throw. I'm not sure who exactly. Obviously, you'd want to have your B main and even slight checkers control because you're completely exposed. But if you have that, you just look in the middle of this caution triangle. You're going to do a W middle click jump throw, and that's just going to land tree. I thought that one was pretty cool and wanted to show that off. Next, I wanted to show a Heaven smoke that I saw BlameF throw, and personally, I think this is the best smoke that you can throw for Heaven currently. You're going to want to find this white dot, jump up on the ledge, hold crouch, and then from here, while still holding crouch, you're going to turn around and look at this like thicker dark line, and then within it, you're going to see this white spot. All you need to do is just put your crosshair at the top left corner where that light meets the dark, stand up, and from here, we're just going to do a W jump throw, but a delayed one. So all that means is we're going to jump. When you're at the peak of your jump or right before it, that's when you're going to hold W and throw the smoke. So all that's going to look like is like this. It's going to bounce off that, land deep Heaven, and just create a very flush, beautiful smoke with basically no lurk potential. Now we're going to be looking at more utility sets or combos, and this is one I saw FaZe throw a lot, and I thought this was awesome. You're going to look at the curb outside of A main here and look down to see this crack that's filled with mud. You're going to just crouch, make sure you align with the very edge of that curb there. I know I said I wasn't going to show a Z smoke, but since this is a combo or a set, I just want to show it anyways. You're going to find this little hinge here, and right in the middle, you're just going to jump throw. After that, you're going to look down at the branches here, twigs, and right where the main stem of this branches off to that smaller twig, you're going to put it right where they meet, and you're just going to shift, do a couple steps, and throw with the molly to molly sandbags. So there and there. So that'll be your sandbags molly that extends very far this way. So if they want to fight, they have to completely expose themselves here. And that's just a very standard Z smoke. Next utility set we're going to be looking at is not far off of the previous one. We're going to be smoking Z, but mollying vents. We're going to look at the firefighter graffiti here, specifically the left one. And you're going to line up with the far right of his hand here. From there, you're going to turn around, look at the fence that's kind of rusty and broken down here. The very first set where it jumps up and meets the second set, this is where we're going to be looking. You're going to follow the very base of the top of this over to the vertical bar, and you're just going to jump throw. After that, you pull out your molly, find this bush again. You're going to look at the top left of the bottom section here, but follow that down to the very thick kind of brown line there in the tile. And then from there, you're going to shift, take a step, and then throw. So we're going to put that together. Bottom of that in the middle, jump throw. Molly from here down to the thicker line. And just do a step throw. That's going to molly in vents. Whether it's broken or not, it's going to extend and cover the entirety of the vents. And that is, again, pretty standard Z smoke. Next utility set we're going to be looking at here is one that Jacob from FaZe threw a lot. It would be for nading white box, mulling under boost here, and also flashing to scale out and fight mid. So all you do here is while on boost, you crouch, you line yourself up with the edge of boost just like this. To nade white box, you just look at the very base of the ladder there. After that, pull out your molly. You're going to find this muddy set of 3 white dots. Look at the middle and throw the molly. After that, flash in the same exact spot. So what that's going to look like is like this. And again, that nade hits white box. The molly spreads and hits everything in this L shape. And that flash bounces off the fan AC unit that allows you to scale up with it, fight sandbags, fight vent, and fight under vent. Moving on to mollies specifically here, I'm going to show you 2 highway mollies I saw that I thought were neat. I'm not sure who threw them, so I apologize for that. First one is just going to be on the front of the truck. It doesn't seem to really matter where, as long as you're relatively center. You're going to look at the very bottom right of the barrel, and you're just going to run jump throw when your crosshair hits right before the end of the red here. Just like that. It's going to bounce off the wall and molly everything there, including the spindle there. You can achieve the same exact thing from the barrel here. You're going to look at the bush. On the left side, you're going to see these 2 leaves basically connected, and then a gap, and then a single leaf. You're going to put your crosshair in between the gap there. And then from there, you're going to move over until your crosshair hits the edge of this leaf. And then you're just going to jump throw. The downside to this one is it does take about half the molly to spread up to the spindle, but it still does. Looking at the B side of things, there are a lot in this general area. First one is going to be for mollying that side of checkers. You want to make sure you have your cross smoke up, of course, and whether you do it from the base of this metal box or on top of it, all you really need is to make sure you can see the top right of the yellow door here. And then you just want to run through a molly off the corner, and that's going to molly everything in checkers right here. For B site itself, there were 4 Molotovs that I saw way more than the rest, so I'll just show those 4. I will split these into pairs because they should be thrown together. The first 2 are going to be thrown from this corner. For the first Molotov, you're going to look at the second line here where the window pane is, the vertical line. You're going to follow it down to the top of this building here and just throw it. The second one, you just look at the plus sign here made in the wall and throw it. So those will look like this. And that basically mollies off the entire left side of the site and then some. The second set here is going to be thrown from the back left corner up on this ledge. Looking at the black dots here, you're going to take a look at the top left one. From here, you're just going to W jump throw. And then after that, make sure you walk back into the corner. And then this mark on the metal, you're just going to go to the left side of it and then just jump throw. So the first one here, W jump throw, walk back, left side, jump throw. And this is going to molly off pretty much the whole right side of the site. For mid, basically how everybody was mollying boost rather than doing like a lineup or something was after they threw the smoke, or if it was already thrown, they would come out here, just look at the top left of this building, and while holding A, they would run to the side and throw it. So all that would look like is like this, and that's going to molly boost. And that's basically how everyone did that on the run, just to make sure you can cross a little bit faster and safer. Moving on to flashes, the most common way I saw teams flash for A main was just in the corner here. I saw a few different lineups, so pick whichever you want. I saw some players go between these 2 windows at the blue and throwing it. I saw some people at the dark at the top of this second window there. Same thing, but on the first window. I prefer the first window, but all 3 of those do work. Another really nice pot flash would be for a aggressive squeaky push. This would be from Toxic. Just go to the back side. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you're going to look below this window, just at the tiles, and throw that. You would want the squeaky player to be playing close, and before that squeaky hits the door, that's when they would open it. For A main on T side, it did seem like the most common flashes were not so much pot flashes. They were just thrown over the building and more so towards the squeaky side. But there were some A main flashes that I wanted to show off. So 2 can be thrown from up against the yellow wall here. These light fixtures that hang down, you're going to see those wires on both sides. The first one is going to be thrown from where it meets on the horizontal bar there. The second one is going to be from there. The first one here is going to bounce off the wall and pop on the corner. This flash is basically for anyone holding tight. So if anyone's holding something like this, they're blind. If anyone's holding back here with an op, they're going to be blind, like a really tight angle. So that's what that's for. From that same exact spot, you can throw this one here, and that one's going to land deeper for more aggressive forward angles or wider angles. The other set that you can throw is going to be from here, just in the corner of this pillar. It's a little weird. There's not like an exact corner, so just wait till you stop. And then you look up at the ceiling. At this pillar, you're going to see a bunch of like dots and stuff. It's going to be this one here. You're just going to middle click and throw, and that's going to pop flash outside. That'll blind anybody playing in this corner here or up on cat or fork. Again, it's just a really close angle flash. You can also do one back here, kind of like that one to flash off the opper. You just go to this corner instead of this one, and you're going to look at the light fixture. Basically, not exactly at the corner, but a little bit in between that and the wire. You're going to do that middle click throw again, and that's going to have the same exact result as the one that was thrown back there. For the B side, the most common pop flash for the T's would be the God Flash, some variation of it. And the God Flash is a flash that lands behind this pipe here, so it doesn't blind your teammates scaling this way or from checkers. The variation that I saw thrown the most, that was just the easiest, I'm assuming, was from here. You just bounce it off of the X, and that'll get you that result every time. For the B side of things on CT, there were two main flashes I saw. They were both for the checkers player to be aggressive, getting information or to fight. The first one is going to be from this corner here. Make sure it is this corner with the bush, not this sheet metal here, because you do get stuck there. So make sure it's there. You're going to look at the box here, this top rectangle that's made up. You're just going to go in the middle of that and throw a flash. This one does land a little short. Anybody here or wide is going to get blind. However, if a T is holding from this position, they will not be. So that's what the second flash is for. Second one's going to be up on this corner. And then you're just going to go up from this box to where it meets this box. So just like that. And then you're just going to step throw. That one lands way deeper. And that is going to blind anybody playing in this position. And that's going to be the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. There really wasn't too big of a sample size to work from for this video. I think Cash was only played about like 5, maybe 6 times. And a couple of them were just absolute blowouts, like 13-3, 13-5, things like that. So there really wasn't a whole lot to work from. But regardless, hopefully you enjoyed. Leave me a like, comment down, let me know your thoughts on this. If you have any suggestions or things you want to see, let me know there. I will be doing an update video to this most likely when things evolve and smokes and stuff get a little crazier. So that is it for me. I'll see you.